We recently did a video talking about family-friendly freezer meals, and in that I was telling a story about going over to my friend's house, and she had gone to Costco and gotten like one of those pre-made meals for her family. And Christy said, you know what would be fun to do?
A Costco Copycat meal video where, you go to Costco and you see the awesome things that they make, and they are tasty because I've bought them, you've bought them, we all buy them. And I've been thinking, how do I make that stuffed salmon at home? I didn't ever know how to do it. And so, we're doing a Costco Copycat video.
So those meals that are pre-made and you just take them home and heat them up, you can do that yourself for a fraction of the cost, and you can have them made so that you don't have to brave the Costco crowds at the end of the day.
That's right. Charlotte was just telling me about fighting the Costco parking lot. It's so cold here right now. We're in a bit of a snap, and people aren't collecting the carts to take them inside, and so they're like sticking out into the driving aisles, and it makes them a one-way. And I feel like we have one of the busiest Costcos in our area.
Yes.
Anyway.
So yes, you can avoid the crowds, you can avoid that busy parking lot, because you can go there one time and get the ingredients to make a lot of recipes, get them in your freezer, and if you have a large family like me, you can supersize them if you need to. And if you live on your own or there's only two of you, you can
minimize them.
Yes!
That's such a good idea. This is such a great idea. I'm very excited about today.
Well, it was your idea and it was quite brilliant.
It's such a good one, I know.
Okay, let's get to the first recipe. Christy has been wanting to do the stuffed salmon, and so I've been doing some research, and online you can find what the ingredients are of the Costco stuffed salmon. So I just needed to figure out sort of quantities and ratios and whatever, and I did switch it up a little, because why not make it even better than the Costco one?
I think that is a tough one to do, but I believe in you because I have eaten your food before. I get it. It'll be great.
Because the Costco one is regular breadcrumbs, and I prefer panko breadcrumbs. So
yeah.
If you want to do regular breadcrumbs and be more authentic, you go right ahead. But we're going to do ours with panko. The other thing that I did have to change is the Costco one has a fair amount of mayo in it. Mayo doesn't freeze very well, and we are making these for the freezer. So if you were making it fresh to serve that day, you can go ahead and use mayo. We used just a splash of mayo and some cream cheese instead of all the mayo, so that we could make this freezer mealized. So let's get to it. So we bought a large thing of salmon. We're going to cut that into fillets, and then we're gonna cut a slit down the center almost from end to end, but you want to leave those ends intact so that you kind of make a little boat. And then you're going to place this in a foil tray. This is one, we usually do our freezer meals in bags, but once in a while you come across one that absolutely has to be made in a foil tray. Then in a bowl, you're going to mix together some cooked and cooled white rice, some imitation crab, cooked and chopped shrimp, those panko breadcrumbs, a bit of cream cheese, but not a whole lot, some grated Monterey Jack cheese, a little splash of mayo, some lemon juice, garlic, dill, parsley, finely minced onion, salt, and pepper. Once you've got your mixture all combined, then you're going to stuff that into the open parts in your salmon. And that's it. We're gonna cover it with a few layers of foil and get that in the freezer. On the day you go to make this, you're gonna thaw it and bake it at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes. Depends a little bit on the thickness of your salmon. Ours are quite thin, so I might even check them at 20 minutes. And of course, salmon is done when it flakes easily with a fork.
Now, if you wanted to make this really authentic, when you're done cooking, you could add the lemon wedge to it like they do in the store.
The other thing we were trying to do with our lookalike recipes is to make them for less money.
Absolutely.
This one, we were actually able to get more than 4 salmon fillets out of it. So we can make multiples of this meal all at the same time, and then Christy's family can enjoy it and our family can enjoy it.
Yay!
So are you getting excited?
I know I am. This next recipe is the Korean beef bulgogi. This is the Costco Copycat. Now, it is made, it is just the beef strips with the marinade, a little bit of onion in there, and then it's something that you would take home and stir fry and serve on rice or noodles. And that seems so simple. We do that all the time. So we can definitely make this into a Costco Copycat. With our beef strips, normally we would get the beef strips from the butcher where they're already cut. But in this case, they were out, so we are going to cut our own just from steak. You can do this yourself. If you're cutting them, make sure you cut across the grain, then that makes them more tender when you go to cook these. We're going to have those in our bag, and then we're going to add in some sliced onion, some soy sauce, minced garlic, some brown sugar, a bit of applesauce or pear sauce if you have some, minced ginger, some pepper, and some sesame oil. We're going to seal that up, mix it around right in the bag so we don't even have to dirty a bowl, which is our favorite part, and then get all that excess air out, seal it up, and freeze it. On the day of cooking, like I said, we're just gonna thaw it, throw it in a skillet, cook up some rice, have some nice steamed vegetables or stir-fried vegetables with it, and bam, Costco Copycat Korean beef bulgogi.
And it will cook up super fast.
Super fast. Like the stir fry strips are gonna be awesome, and they are fast. It's great.
Even I have gotten the Costco street chicken tacos before. They come in a sort of a long container, and it has your tortillas in there and your lime wedges. It's got some chipotle lime crema and some salsa in little tiny containers. And then it's got some cabbage slaw and your cooked chicken that's seasoned and all the things. But I have to tell you that for my family, that thing doesn't even feed us a lunch.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you would need 2 or maybe 3 of them to feed your family.
Yeah, it is not nearly large enough. And those little things of salsa and crema, like, are you kidding me? If there's 2 of you, great.
It's
have at her.
something me and my husband might pick up for lunch, and maybe have leftovers, maybe not if we're particularly hungry.
Yeah, so this one you can make in large quantities or small, and you can just adapt how many tortillas you put out. It's super, super easy. So we're gonna do up the chicken in this amazing marinade. It's going to taste as good, if not better, as the Costco ones. And then you can throw it with your own cabbage slaw and salsa. And I did hear that Costco carries the lime crema. I wasn't able to find it. It wasn't at our store this time, but there's really great recipes online for Copycat Costco lime.
Of course there is.
Right?
What would we do without the internet? We wouldn't have jobs.
Totally. No, we wouldn't. So for this, what you're going to do is from Costco, you can buy the large trays of chicken thighs. We prefer the thighs. You could do this with breasts instead, but we find the thighs are more tender. So you're going to take half a tray of those Costco chicken thighs, put those into a large resealable freezer bag, and then you're gonna add some orange juice, cider vinegar, lime juice, minced garlic, chipotle chili powder, oregano, smoked paprika, cinnamon, salt, and pepper. You're gonna squish all that together to combine it in the bag and make sure that those thighs are nicely coated. You're gonna get all the air that you can out of your bag, because when you're freezer cooking, air is what causes that freezer burn. Then you're gonna get this into your freezer. On the day you go to make your street chicken tacos, you can just heat these on the barbecue. They are done so quickly, just 4 to 5 minutes per side on medium high. You're gonna wanna check them with a meat thermometer to make sure it's an internal temperature of at least 165 degrees. Christy has converted me now. I've started using my meat thermometer actually.
I'm gonna get you a new one that's a fast read, an instant read meat thermometer. Like you have a digital one and it's really awesome and I'm glad you use it, but it takes some time.
You have to stand there, like watch it go
there are
up.
instant read ones, and I mean you can pay and get like $100 one that you know like right now. I paid like $30 and I know within like 5 seconds.
Okay.
You know,
I need to convert.
you pay by the second. Yeah.
And time is money. So I think I should probably switch over now that I'm actually using mine.
I'm just so happy that you said that.
I know. Twice in the last week, I've gotten out the meat thermometer and I'm like, oh, Christy has finally converted me.
He said, I'll never do it. I'll never do it.
You know, give me enough time with anything. And
Charlotte doesn't like change, and that's okay. And I've only pushed. I said, I'll never make you do it.
Right.
She just had to decide for herself, and that's how change happens.
Just takes me a lot more time than it might take the average person to come around to things. But once I do, I'm all in.
Both feet. Okay, check your chicken. Carry on.
So once your chicken is done and it's reached that nice temperature, then you want to chop it into pieces just like the one from Costco, and then you can serve it with all the fixings. And the nice thing about this is you're not limited. When you buy the Costco one, not only is it way more expensive to buy it pre-done like that, but you're limited to what they have in there. Sure, you could also add some things on your own, but really, if you were picking it up for convenience, are you really going to do that? Probably not. So this way, if you want to throw in like some mango salsa or some tomatoes or some jalapenos, you can. So now you have your very own street chicken tacos.
The copycat version. I love it. I love it. And now I'm hungry.
This next one is the stuffed peppers.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we have a Tex-Mex stuffed pepper recipe that we have been making for years and years, and it's gonna be nice to try something different.
It's so good, but it will be nice to have something different just because variety is the spice of life.
The thing about the peppers is that we've discovered you can freeze peppers once they're stuffed, but we prefer the texture when we just freeze the filling, and then everything in it is already cooked, so you're just good to stuff that into your fresh peppers the day you make this. And if you don't have peppers, you can also just put this in a skillet and have it as is.
We have totally done that. Like, I have one pepper, but I really have a hankering for the stuffed peppers. I'll just chop up the pepper and put it in, and we'll skillet it up, and it's great. Sprinkle some cheese on that.
Okay, so this is our version of the Costco stuffed peppers.
Awesome. In our bag, we'll start out with our ground beef that has already been browned and cooled. We're going to add in some cooked white rice. We'll add in tomato paste, some minced onion, a bit of basil, a bit of parsley, some minced garlic straight from the jar, which you can also get at Costco, some salt and pepper, some Worcestershire, and some brown sugar. We're gonna take a medium bag and put some shredded mozzarella and Parmesan cheese mixed together in there because we are so fancy. Then we are going to take that air out of the bag, and then we seal it up, staple these together, and freeze them. On the day of cooking, of course, you're going to go to the store and have already purchased your beautiful, ripe, fresh peppers. We just cut the top off, and sometimes we level them on the bottom before we stuff the filling in. I've also seen people cut them in half and take the guts out, and so then you have two halves, like that way, like they're boats.
Right.
You know, stuffed pepper boats. And you could totally do that too. Whatever works best for you. So fill these in. Sprinkle your cheese on top. We're gonna cook them in the oven and get that cheese all melty and let those peppers cook up, and voila, this is a beautiful, healthy dish.
Now, while I was at Costco, I was of course checking all of these things out and seeing the prices of those, factoring in like how much it was gonna cost us to make them and all of that. And I couldn't help but notice that they also had some other ready-made meals that we hadn't planned on doing. So I think there will be a part 2 coming.
I think there definitely needs to be a part 2. Costco does change it up every once in a while, and they're good meals.
There was a jumbo shrimp penne Alfredo one that would be super easy for us to do. There was a brand new one that was some kind of a chow mein-ish thing. And then the one that I was found most interesting was stuffed chicken, and they were stuffed with asparagus and some other things, and then they had a sauce on them. So I thought, ooh, I need to research how to make that, what the ingredients are. And then we can bring you a part 2 Costco Copycat video.
And then there's the old staples of, they almost always have lasagna, and they have a really, really good shepherd's pie.
Oh, they do.
They have a really good shepherd's pie, and I've bought it many times.
We might have a part 3. We might. Let us know in the comments if there are pre-made Costco recipes that you're looking for especially, and we will research those as well. So now we have 4 meals in our freezer. Well, actually, we doubled most of these, so we've got more than 4 meals, but if you've followed along with us, you can have your 4 meals in your freezer, and then you don't need to hit that quick takeout section at Costco. You can get the ingredients for these for a fraction of the cost, and even better, you don't have to brave that Costco parking lot nearly as often. Now, normally, actually, the Costco parking lot's one of my favorites because they have, at least where we live, they have more space between the cars.
They're extra wide, but then they also have that like extra space in between. It is very convenient to park there.
Yes, this time it was just because, as we were saying earlier, they didn't want, I guess, because it was so cold, they didn't want to go out and get the carts. And so the carts were like out in the driving area.
Yes.
You could not get past. Some of the carts were in stalls. You couldn't use those stalls.
It was bedlam.
I was like, I hate Costco. Obviously, I don't hate Costco because we're doing one of many Costco videos that we've done. Costco is great for buying in bulk. Costco is great for when you have a large family like I do. So there's lots of reasons to love Costco. But if you can go there less often and just get more for less on those times, do that.
Do that. You know, Costco isn't just for large families. Costco can be for singles and couples as well, and we have a video to prove it.
We're gonna put the video right there about how you can shop in bulk even if you are a family of 1 or 2 and get the very most for your dollar. Thank you for watching us as we tried some Costco Copycat recipes. Happy cooking.